Best a man can get.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to First Things First. I'm Jenna Wolf. That's the Hall of Famer, Cris Carter. That is Nick Wright. We hope you had a good 4th. Here's to hoping you have an even better 5th. July 5th is underrated.
Okay.
Completely underrated. People forget about it, but they shouldn't, because we got a big program for you today. The KD and Kyrie connection has long been in the making.
Breaking news.
Breaking
Tell
news.
you what I
July 5th
mean.
Underrated. I always thought it was properly rated.
Underrated. Zion Williamson begins his Rookie of the Year quest, but we start with Rafael Nadal. Big news there. I'm kidding. We would never start with Rafael Nadal. We start with the biggest story yet to happen in the NBA. Ah, very nice.
Of course.
The Kawhi watch. Nick does know everything. The reigning MVP had the decision narrowed down to the Clippers, Lakers, or Raptors. But according to friend of the show, Chris Broussard, it is now down to a coin flip, with the Claw doing some deep soul searching between the Lakers and Raptors, between Hollywood and Drake. All right, Nick, what do you think? What will this decision tell us about Kawhi Leonard?
I think it's a really good question because, as we've talked about a lot, very few people know much of anything about what makes Kawhi tick, about who Kawhi is. Chris, you've known him since he came into the league, and even you don't know Kawhi incredibly well, as well as you know some other people in the league, and you know him better than just about anybody in the media. But I do think, and we've said this before with teams and the draft or if free agency decisions, your actions almost always tell the truth. And when you look at these 3 options, whichever one he picks will give us a window into what's important to him. If he picks the Clippers, which with respect, I know Broussard's saying they're out of it, but let's just say for the time being that all 3 teams remain. If he picks the Clippers, he is saying not only is going back to home-ish important, but I want the biggest challenge possible. I want to climb an even taller mountain than the one I just climbed in Toronto. If he picks the Raptors, it makes total sense. It's not just that trust and infrastructure and what the Raptors earned through him is important, but also he wants to defend his title. We've had 73 guys beat, or 73 times the teams won a title in this league. 69 of those 73, their best players come back the following year. The 3 times it hasn't happened, George Mikan once because he retired. Michael Jordan once because he retired. Michael Jordan a 2nd time because he retired. Kawhi Leonard is the 73rd, and we will see what decision he takes.
Wow, that's interesting.
And if he chooses the Lakers, much like the Clippers, there's the home element, but it will also be about, I want to play with the best possible players and have the best chance at not getting my 3rd championship, but getting my 3rd, maybe my 4th, maybe even my 5th. So whichever decision he makes will give us a window into what is actually the most important to him and what things matter to him but don't matter that much. So I think that's the information we hopefully should get in the next 24 hours.
I think people are just going to draw a bunch of conclusions based on what they think he should do. I don't think we're going to know that much about Kawhi after this. I believe Kawhi is going to make this decision, or someone's going to make this decision, and then Kawhi is going to go about getting some type of rest, allowing his body to repair, preparing for the training camp, no matter where that is. And he believes he's going to be a better basketball player at 28, because let's look at a year ago. He was coming off a significant injury where he missed most of the season. You can just basically cancel out, he missed the season. Almost the same thing Kevin Durant is facing, because when Kawhi came back, there was a lot of mystery to how healthy will he be. So Kawhi, there is no rehab this offseason. It's just rest, and he's going to be ready, a better player, when they start the season next year, no matter where he decides to go. That being the Clippers, Toronto, or the Lakers, it's about championships. Now, that's what it's always been about with Kawhi, but because people don't know him, what they'll say now is, oh, he went to the Clippers. He wants the biggest challenge. He went to the Lakers. He wants to play with LeBron. Toronto, the chemistry they had and being able to repeat, he wants to play there. Yeah, all those things could be true. But Kawhi Leonard is about winning, and he doesn't care as much that great players are there. That's the reason why he looked at the Clippers with KD. That's why he was going to look at Brooklyn. That's why he was going to look at the Knicks. Not only because the location, doing business, his brand moving forward, but he doesn't mind that there's great basketball players. Kawhi Leonard is not trying to avoid great players playing with them. He's not trying to have this narrative be that, oh, you know something? I went to the hardest spot. No, he's going to go to the best spot for him to continue developing his basketball game. To me, it's a matter of, did the Lakers and or the Clippers, were they able to overcome the trust factor that he has in Toronto? And he trusts the team, he trusts the coaching staff, he trusts the medical staff. So for me, that's all this is. That's all this is really about. We are not going to know Kawhi Leonard after this decision.
Do you think, Nick, that his legacy will be altered in any way based on what decision he makes? And let's assume it is either the Lakers or the Raptors. The Lakers, well, he won, but he really wants to win, and this is guaranteed. Or the Raptors, you know, he did it sort of with this group of guys that got close but couldn't quite get there, and he helped them get there. Do you think his legacy is altered either way?
Well, I think that is almost impossible to answer until we know the end result. I mean, of course, what he does in what will be the prime of his career, I would argue last year was the first year of his actual apex prime. Maybe the year before would have been, but he was injured.
He was hurt.
So he is now really just entering that 3 to 5 year stretch where you are at your absolute best as an athlete and as a basketball player. What he does with it, that is how legacies are forged. But because he has 2 titles already, one as a role player when he ended up winning Finals MVP, and one as the only superstar on a roster, I don't believe you can go backwards legacy-wise. And so he has already established himself as this tier Hall of Famer. He's already a Hall of Famer. That's what he earned last year in Toronto. In my eyes, like you can't be a 2-time Finals MVP and the unquestioned best player on a champion that ends a dynasty and not be a Hall of Famer. So he's already there. He can just go forward, and Chris would say his cement's still wet, like his cement's not dry. He can continue to forge his legacy. You go to LA with the Lakers or the Clippers or the Raptors, if he wins another championship or championships in either place, it only further enhances that.
When he gets to LeBron James's age and or tenure in the league, if he's still playing basketball, let's just do age-ish.
Yeah.
What's his best chance of winning championships? And that's with the Los Angeles Lakers. So the Clippers have never won. All right? Toronto just now are winning one time with Kawhi. And if he decides to go back there with the chemistry he had back there, pay higher taxes, live in another country, that will be saying something about him.
Yeah.
But for Kawhi, man, this is about championships and which organization are going to support me and my quest to be the best player in the world and get as many championships as possible. To me, the only team that presents that are the Los Angeles Lakers. Jenny Buss is doing it now, trying to get them back on track after 6 awful seasons, falling in the track of her great father who won all those championships. So for me, with Kawhi Leonard, the Lakers become very, very hard to beat. And do I go back to San Antonio? Didn't he request to be traded from there? Mm-hmm. And where did he request to be traded to?
The Lakers.
Yeah, so for me, if he goes back to his original request, what does that mean? That he was true to it. He really wanted to get out of San Antonio and get to L.A. I believe there's going to be an announcement today.
I was just going to ask that. Really?
I do believe there's going to be an announcement today.
Awesome. Okay. All right, take a break. Coming up, is it title or bust for KD and Kyrie in Brooklyn? We're already asking. That's next on FS1, and you can always check us out on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
469th show we've done. First one I've done without